Welcome to Oracle DBA training session 1, Oracle overview. Objectives of the session are popular database management systems like DBMS software, why Oracle as a DBMS, history and current trends of DBMS and database administration, Oracle database market share and about its current competitive landscape, and tasks of a database administrator. Popular database management systems. We have a lot of database management system. When I started my career way back in 1991-92, we used to have flat file database and we used to write COBOL programs to manage the data. Then came DBase 3 plus, Foxbase, Fox Pro, and they were databases, not RDBMSs. Then we have relational databases governed by 12 rules given by Dr. Cod. We had those RDBMSs, and now we have all these RDBMS which are available nowadays. That includes Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, MariaDB, Percona. They are from the same source code. PostgreSQL, DB2, Sybase Adaptive Server Enterprise, and this share the same roots. So we have different RDBMSs available today. In fact, I deliver training almost in on all of these RDBMSs. Current and future database trends. In the late 1960s and early 1970s, there were two mainstream approaches to constructing the database management systems. First, the hierarchical data model, typified by information management systems from IBM, and then network data model attempted to create a database standard and resolve some of the difficulties of the hierarchical model. However, it had some fundamental disadvantages. For example, the complex programs had to be written to answer even simple queries, and there was minimal data independence. There was no widely accepted theoretical foundation for these. So the database model's hierarchy means a genealogy tree, where we have a hierarchical format where we have nodes and subnodes and further subnodes like this. Relational, where we have a row and column, and the intersection of a row and column have the value. So together this is called a table or a relation. Relational database management systems. First commercial product appeared in the 1970s and early 80s. Used extensively in 1980s and 90s, was limited in meeting the more complex entity and data needs of companies as their operations and applications became increasingly complex. Two new data models have emerged. One is Object Relational Data Management System, ORDBMS, and Object Oriented Database Management System, that is OODBMS. Then we have distributed databases as well. Distributed database stored in more than one physical location, is spread across multiple locations, as the name suggests, distributed. Two main ways of distributing a database. One is a central database can be partitioned so that each remote processor has the necessary data to serve its local data. Second, changes in the local files can be justified with a central database on a batch basis. Why Oracle? There are a couple of reasons why we should go for Oracle, though we have other advantages, other RDBMS is available, but let's look at why we should go for Oracle. Functionality. Oracle provides the combination of high-level security and integrated business solutions, means which are directly integrated with Oracle database. as it fits perfectly with the needs of business and corporations. They are the most common user of Oracle database. Today, Oracle dominates the companies and banking industries. Top 10 banks use Oracle to access and manage their data. Best solution for corporations who have an enormous amount of data to handle and access. So this is functionality aspect of a region, that why we should use Oracle. There are various aspects. This is functionality. If you look at from portability point of view, we have other set of regions from the portability perspective. Oracle is the best choice as a portable DBMS solution. It supports more than 100 hardware platforms and 20 networking protocols. It's a huge number. Develop a completely featured Oracle application on any operating system without even knowing the underlying layers of that system. It has a most user-friendly and easy to use feature which is usable to any platform. This feature makes Oracle the best portable database solution today. Then another aspect of it, recovery. If your system fails due to any technical issue, Oracle offers the quickest online backup and recovery features. So you can undo or recover the existing database from the server when your system is back online. You can also set in point in time recovery. This is going to be interesting aspect of our training when we learn all these aspects, the recovery, point in time recovery, and then all these aspects are part of our training. Then speed and performance perspective. If you look at from the speed and performance, it does not matter how big is the database. Oracle provides the best speed to access the database. With the highest level of performance, the performance of Oracle is not only raw but include the locking and transaction controls, which means integrity of the data, consistency of the data is always ensured, which also ensures the high level security of your database system. Then we have multiple database support. That's from that perspective, look at Oracle uses two-phase commit protocol to manage multiple databases within the same transaction. With multiple databases support, you can move the data from nodes to nodes from where it was stored. Mirror the database within the same network or update more than one data with a single request. This is multiple database support from Oracle. This gives another reason that you should use Oracle. Then last but not the least is the reliability. When it comes to handling complex tasks, Oracle delivers the best performance. It uses atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability acid test to ensure the integrity of data to determine whether it passed by Oracle databases or not. Using acid test, Oracle ensures the top level reliability of your system as well as deliver high integrity of data storage. So these are good number of reasons from different perspective why we should use Oracle. Operational database market. Major players in the market today are Oracle Corporation from US, Microsoft Corporation from United States, IBM also from the United States, Adaptive Server Enterprise from Germany, MariaDB from Finland, MongoDB from US, and MarkLogic Corporation from US. These are the major players who are developing different relational database management systems. If you look at from a website called Datadog, if you from the survey from the research, you can see as of January 2022, the market share Oracle is the leading market as of January 22. So this is undoubtedly put Oracle on top. Second, of course, comes MySQL, again owned, wholly owned product from Microsoft, from Oracle only. The source is db-engines.com/en/ranking. If you can go and you can check the ranking for the current month as well. Tasks of a database administrator. If you are attending this training, if you are learning this training to become administrator, you need to understand what are your tasks. We'll go one by one, all of them. These are the broad list of tasks which you have to do. How you will be doing that, we'll get into the detail of each of these tasks. Evaluate the database server hardware. Install the Oracle database software. Plan the database. Create and open the database. Backup the database. Enroll system users. Implement database design. Backup fully functional database. Tune database performance. Download and install patches and roll out additional hosts. Let's look at one by one, you know, for all these on all these aspects. Task of our DBA. Evaluate the database server hardware. What does it mean? When I say this, you have to evaluate the hardware server architecture. It means how many disk drives are available to the Oracle products. You need to identify that. How many, if any, dedicated tape drives are available to Oracle products? How much memory is available to the instances of Oracle database you will run? You need to find out these details. This is your job as a DBA. Your task as a DBA also include the most important task: install Oracle database software. When you start working as a DBA, probably you will be installing Oracle database server software and any front-end tools that and database applications that access the database. In some distributed processing installations, the database is controlled by a database server and the database tools and applications are executed on clients. In this case, you must also install the Oracle Net components, that is networking connectivity, necessary to connect to the remote machines. That's your task as a DBA. Then plan the database. As a database administrator, you must plan the logical storage structure. We will understand this. We have a comprehensive lecture on creating databases, and there this feature will come in detail because we will be ultimately planning. I will be explaining and demonstrating the plan concept, logical storage, overall database design, backup strategy. All these things needs to be planned while create the database. How the logical storage structure will affect performance and database management operations. That's your responsibility. You need to plan it. Consider the performance of computer executing running data Oracle databases. The performance of database during data access operations. The efficiency of backup and recovery procedures for the database. You need to consider all these aspects. Then create and open the database. That's your responsibility. Create and open the database. Now you can create the database and open it for the normal use. Create a database at installation time or later on by using DBCA. We'll be creating both methods at installation time using DBCA, or even in fact you can create our own script. That's what we are going to learn in this training. We'll be creating our databases manually through DBCA, through script. We'll be using all these tools. Backup the database. After you create the database structure, carry out the backup strategy you planned for the database. Create any additional redo log files. Take the first full database backup, that is online or offline, and schedule future better database backup at regular intervals. As a DBA, your task is to enroll system users, means create right users with right permissions, with right privileges. You can enroll the users of the database in accordance with your Oracle license agreement and grant appropriate privileges and roles to these users. Implement the database design. Enroll the system users. You can implement and plan logical structured databases by creating all necessary table spaces and create the database objects. That's your job as a DBA, because ultimately we are going to learn this task. When I'm discussing these tasks, be ready that yes, you'll be doing all these things with hands-on, with examples, with complete comprehensive details of each of these aspects. Backup the fully functional database. When database is fully implemented, again backup the database, then tune the database performance. We are going to get into the details of performance tuning as well. Optimizing the performance of a database is one of the ongoing responsibility as a DBA. And then the another crucial task which you will be doing is download and install patches. After installation and on regular basis, download and install patches. Interim patches address individual software bugs. Patch release have release numbers. For example, if installed Oracle 19.2.0.0, the first patch release will have the release number 19.2.0.1. Then roll out to additional host. Now you may want to roll that exact installation out to other hosts because you have multiple production database systems, because you want to create development and test systems that are identical to your production systems. You can clone your tested Oracle database installations to other hosts. We have multiple options here. For example, you can cloning an Oracle database or home, simple. Just the configured and patched binaries from Oracle home directory and subdirectories are copied to the destination host and fixed to match the new environment. You can also use Enterprise Manager clone Oracle Home tool to clone an Oracle Home to one or more destination hosts. That's all for this session. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Bye bye.